It's not often we begin in a UI view, but in a space like this, I suppose it's appropriate. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Narcosis, a claustrophobic and literally crushing VR horror game in which we play as an underwater engineer who becomes trapped at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. A game where the threats are described as being grounded in reality, but steeped in the surreal. And having freshly played Soma, I was really in the mood to try something like this. Now, a little bit of forward. This is not going to be a conventional VR experience. I don't know if the VR was added after the fact. It's an older game from 2017, and it doesn't really have, like, full support. Like, right now, I'm using an Xbox 360 controller. I'm in a seated position. And so, having never done something like this before, it'll be a pretty good experiment, I think. February 2nd, 2019. Ooh, the distant future.
Oceanova was once in a lifetime. They're breaking new ground, making something meaningful. Mining methane hydrate frozen beneath the seabed. There's alternatives, but none so plentiful. It's clean and safe. I couldn't say no.
Sorry about your weekend, but someone had to draw the short straw. We've got a lot of updates to get through, but new suit, same rules. Give me a sec. Okay, instruments. O2. Flares and thrust. Oh, Jesus. Here, you know the drill. You're stressed, panicking, breathing hard. Sensors tripped. As you know, your O2 burns down a lot faster under stress. Anyway.
Oh, this is so cool. Oh, we are really... Hang on, we are really going to have to mess with these settings. 1 second, but this is so cool. The HUD is entirely diegetic. It's actually us within our helmet looking around. That is amazingly cool, and I can see why they opted for seated for this. Let's turn off peripheral occlusion and step rotation. Let's make it smooth. Okay, I'm glad all of this is here. There we go. Ooh.
Let's see. Scrubbers, check. Temp, check. Lights, check. Camera, check.
Look at that. We can see it reflected in the visor, our breath right in front of us. You know, I always thought of the Vive that it was like looking at the world through a scuba mask. Now, using a headset like that might actually be appropriate. Ooh. Oh, we got critters down here too, do we? Oh, it is so loud. But I can't really reach out and interact with any of this stuff, but the whole appeal of VR is just looking around. Well, we are really down deep, aren't we? Oh, but we don't have a tremendous amount of oxygen. Who knows how long this will last. I will say, using a stick to look around, like to turn my body, is actually very, very nauseating very quickly. I do not like that at all. You were a weird one. Press X to use knife. Oh, are we gonna fight the critters? That doesn't seem like a good idea. But I sort of like the idea that in moments of panic, we'll actually use up oxygen more quickly. Like, this is beautiful to look at, even if it is fairly janky. Oh, look, our flashlight actually follows my head view, so that's kind of nice. I feel like those close-up views of Tony Stark in the Iron Man suit or something. down to 59%. We've got to keep moving. That's going to really interfere with exploration. But then again, I don't know to what extent this is really an exploration-based game. Down we go.
Something's still not... Hold on a sec. I need you to hit thrusters one more time. Whenever you're ready.
Hold L and RT to thrust forward. Ah, we've got jump jets. It's like being in a prawn suit. From what I understand, this is sort of like part way between a suit and a mech. And I can see the flags of various countries up there. I guess this is like an international effort.
All good. Let's try it in reverse.
Ooh. Yeah, this is a little tough to get used to.
Okay, target practice. Fire a couple of flares.
Flares? Press A to interact. Ah, there we go. And we can see on our display right there how many we have. Alright, so we can do that for only a few seconds at a time. And I can hold LB to load a flare. Oh, and it follows my head view. That is awesome. You know, for something that may not have been intended to be VR, this works pretty decently well. Launch.
Okay.
And you're not letting me... I guess there's a max range. There we go.
All right.
And right there. It takes some getting used to, but it's surprisingly intuitive.
Check. Thruster. Check. Launcher. And check. Let's get out of here. Grab a little sunshine while we can.
I don't think there's any sunshine to be found for us here. Ooh. This looks like it's caved in. Oh, we're going back the way we came. All right, we need to use those jets. There we go. Oh, there we are. Look at these deep sea guys. Always strange when they have a large enough body to register a facial expression, something that almost looks human, huh? I'm sorry, I'm just too busy geeking out about all of this, but our O2 is not really conducive to this kind of thing, so we should keep moving. Yep. There may be times where we have to use the jets to get us going faster, not just to clear a gap. I'm sorry if you might notice there's a bit of a line down one side of the screen. The reason for that is because I'm recording both eyes, and it sort of auto-stitches on the fly. That's the way SteamVR works. I'm recording that instead of the game itself because otherwise the FOV would kind of be unacceptably narrow, and it would be even more disorienting for you guys to watch. Maybe in a claustrophobic game like this, it would be sort of appropriate, but that's kind of how I do things.
Welcome back, mon frere. Hey. You alright? Come on, let's get back to the hat.
Will do. It's good to see another... not face, but you know what I mean down here. Retrieve O2. But that did not get us very much.
Don't want to miss that. I'll circle back with JJ tomorrow. Get this all wrapped up.
All riled up? What do you mean by that? I love how big and bulky this thing feels. Like, you feel the weight of it all.
10:02, February 2nd. We were 50 miles from the epicenter. But an 8 on the Richter scale makes that kind of distance irrelevant.
An earthquake. Whoa!
The shockwaves hit 6 minutes later, striking the south face of the hab first and hardest. 27 minutes in, with that kind of concussive force, even the sealed modules were compromised. After that came the ocean. By 10:33, only safe havens in a sub or one of the suits.
Only 50% O2 remaining. Okay, we've got to get out of here. God, we're completely off the platform, down in the rocks now. Was that a hallucination? What am I supposed to make of that? Okay, I guess... What do we do now? No, seriously, what am I doing now? Do I have to try and make my way through here? I was just about to comment on the fact that this is such a horrifying, so outside of our experience thing, and yet one that's so completely grounded, but I don't have an answer for what we just saw. We have a light, but it's not doing very much for us. Ah, we carry the tank with us and we can fill it up. Okay, and that can get us all the way to max. Alright, that is cool, so we're not dependent on scavenging. Maybe we could make that jump with the jet, but the fact that we can walk down here, sugg. Just that maybe not. I really feel like I've dropped into rock bottom now, in the literal sense of the term. And in the SpongeBob reference sense of the term, which was also the literal sense of the term. But already 8% down.
Check your gear, trust your training. It's one of the first things you learn. But the second they fail, you fall back on what you know best. For me, it's the list. This time, it wrote itself. Keep breathing, find others, and get the hell out.
All hands. It isn't. Flora has been hit. Taking on water. Seriously. Sub, standing by. I repeat, the hab's taking on water. Right, I count as one. Repeat, get back as one.
So, somebody made it. I don't know if we have a base down here, or if that's coming from the surface or what, but... But we would do well to get out of here. That's the only thing I know. It's the only thing that matters. Oh, this game has got the right idea. Every aspect of this is meant to both help us and make us feel the terror of this, the slow dread of suffocation. The UI is really just kind of a silent timer, just urging you that you've got time, but you better move. Because all the time in the world becomes no time fast when you don't have a plan. Oh my god, look at you. Am I just supposed to be getting out of your way? Go, 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 go. I don't know if that's supposed to be an enemy or not. Go, 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 go. Oh, you're so slow. I also don't know if I've just completely screwed myself. God, that was a big one. Deep sea life is fascinating to me. It's something I've always been interested in, but seeing it up close and personal in this context is another thing altogether. 50% remaining. Am I just supposed to jump you or something? Maybe I can follow past you? Or maybe I can wait here for you to go past. Point is, we are very, very slow. Alright, let's rocket. Rocket, rocket, rocket. Eh. Oh. Wait, I feel like I'm being pushed. Oh! Yeah, I was just getting, like, pushed. What force was doing that? Well, at least we've got checkpoints. I read a Steam review that said that at release, this game was kind of frustrating with its, like, instant deaths and lack of checkpoints. But others have said that there was a patch at some point to make it less so hopefully that's truly the case. A container. And from the look of it, freshly fallen as well. Okay, we can replenish our O2 here. Thank you. This whole game is just going to be the anxiety of when's my next refill going to come. But I'm glad they're not hand-waving that, you know? Oh, we can grab flares. But I'm glad they're not hand-waving that aspect. I mean, that's got to be, besides being crushed, the single biggest danger down here. And so it would be a waste to not explore that in any capacity. I've actually always liked in horror the concept of having to hurry up calmly, you know? Alright, are we dropping down or are we rocketing the gap?
When it's all bearing down on so many levels, it's gotta be managed. You can't shake the pressure. Just make your peace with it. Don't let it take the wheel.
I mean, you've got to have nerves of steel on a job like this, even under the best of conditions. There's just so much that can go wrong. This is just a time where something did. Even the fauna down here is so alien. It's like, I want to just stop and look at it, but then I'll glance down at the reflection on my visor and realize that I can't. The darkness, except for all this bioluminescence. Looking up and not even being able to tell if it's night or day because the light from the sun wouldn't reach down here anyway. Platforming. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Well, I'm dead. Nope, nope. Made it out of that by the skin of our teeth. And down here, the lack of mobility is somewhat justified. Okay, we've got to be careful for rock slides. We were just in an earthquake after all. I wonder if a game like this wouldn't benefit from no soundtrack. sound of our base and the sea shelf collapsing around us are certainly enough to carry us. Now, I had mentioned that turning using the stick can be a tad nauseating. I'm falling through. Oh, God. But I can also turn by just looking myself, which is a little bit dizzying in its own right, but it sort of works. It's just doing so with a controller. When your body turns without your body turning, that can be really nauseating. And that's actually why I wasn't able to play Subnautica in VR. But we better be more than halfway to another refill point. We at least seem to be getting a little closer to someplace we're supposed to be. There's another tank right there. But it's not going to be all of it. Most of it. I don't like the wildlife. Are we supposed to go that way or this way?
There's protocol for everything. Has to be. Second guessing puts lives at risk. So it's best to stick to procedure, step by step. So with an all-hands call, you head straight for Compass 1. Try and reach surface from comms.
You know, so far you have a funny way of saying just what was on my mind. Not about the specific procedure, of course, but about the need for procedure. When stuff goes down, you need to know already what you're gonna do. Looks like another one of us didn't make it. Jellyfish. Did your visor shatter? Retrieve O2 and ID, Benjamina. Wait, review file. First Russ, now Ira, or Isra. I found her at the perimeter of Compass 1. Too close for comfort. Like me, she was lucky. Out on EVA when the tremors started. Probably headed back in search of the others. Or at least a little calm in the storm. Her visor was shattered, but her face, bathed in blue light, was quiet, if not quite at peace. Another sleeper in the veil. A plain, painful reminder of how little separates us from the elements. Something tells me this is all worse than I thought. It is. It's like a dog tag collecting mechanic. Oh my! Tab X. Okay, so not everybody nice. Now I wonder, is there a danger of you breaking my visor? I imagine we're meant to gather you're what got her, right? You definitely increase our O2 intake, and actually we just burned through a lot of it. Alright, keep moving. Let's fire off a flare. Let's see how these work. That actually is...
JJ, Benny, is anybody getting this? Just anybody read. Maybe we're on the surface of Silvergrey. House falling apart.
Okay, these flares are actually fairly useful, and there are other survivors, but we said we were one of the lucky ones who was out on EVA, meaning we were already in a suit. What if you didn't have one? What if you were in base in plain clothes? Let's fill up each and every chance we get. Compass 1, let's hope you're safe-ish. But we already know the answer, don't we? You know, I think VR really shines in smaller areas like this. It's where the resolution is the least of an issue.
From the outside, the structure seemed intact. So I figured whoever's inside might... Well, maybe it's okay.
Oh, we're gonna have to do a manual override. It's not working.
We ran all kinds of drills. And you believe you know what to expect. But once I got inside, where it's familiar and you should feel safe. Even though I had to, those first few steps weren't easy.
This place is completely flooded. No wonder it couldn't cycle the airlock. It wouldn't do anything. Kind of feels indicative of our whole situation, this image, doesn't it? But we've got to have a look around. This deep sea exploration has now turned into deep sea urbex, essentially. And I'll be honest, I am here for it. Are any of these doors still working? These over here are. God, like, I know we're in the middle of a disaster, but I just can't help it how cool this all is. Look, all the objects floating in the water. It sort of reminds me of that one scene from The Abyss where they go aboard the submarine. And for a second, it almost looked like that door was breathing from my perspective. Oh, like... I literally just jumped out of my skin. What? You were not there a second ago. Hang on, I gotta move forward in my seat. Are you just a suit? The wildlife have made their way in here. This place is going to become a natural reef, a shelter for these things. It's already started, only minutes later. This game understands that it's all about the foreground. Maybe I won't go for that. I hadn't even seen you in amidst all the metal clutter. Objects pushing off of our visor as we move past. So many things floating in these once familiar spaces. Screens still glowing. Okay, we need you. I don't think we're gonna get back to that other openable door now, but I don't really have time to waste. We really were the lucky ones being on EVA. Su-Cheng Lang. We'd all met long before setting foot down in Compass 1. ADS training. Briefings, trust exercises. Dr. Lang asked us to call her Susie right from the start. She said it's easier to pronounce, but I'm pretty sure she just hated people screwing up her real name. She grabbed an O2 tank and breather before climbing into the ventilation shaft. Clever, but there's no outwitting the ocean. After forcing its way in, it swept her literally off her feet and hung her out to dry. Awful, she had time to know what was happening. A smart person who knew her best bet, but their best bet wasn't enough. Stay weird indeed. Oh. Is this whole thing sliding off? And now I've got to go back. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Freaking crab. You stay out. They may taste like crab. I wonder if they talk like people. That was forced, but by gum I was gonna force it. Okay, I would really like it if there weren't so many missing floor panels, and I could be somewhat assured that I wasn't going to be grabbed xenomorph style from above by this giant enemy crab. Oh my god. Are these a real species? I honestly have no idea. Nope, get out of here. And look at how this blood trails in the water. We are going to make sure you are dead, dead, dead. What are you, some type of squid species? Alright, out of my way. Another body, and more oxygen. God, the look on their faces. And you're missing an arm. Nope, that is the wrong button. Sorry, but, I mean... Dongsu Bei, a loner, and not so humble as to hide it, Dr. Bei held court up in the geology module. It looks like the Habwall swallowed him up and spit him out. I can see the look on his face. Floor yawning wide, open beneath his patent-leathered feet, his precious papers fluttering all about. Mother Nature's a harsh mistress, and when she comes knocking, it's from every possible angle. There's a reason the sea was so legendary for old sailors. I wonder if they ever imagined humans would do the things we're doing here. Seems like it's going to be pretty rare for us to get a full-on charging station. Howdy, boys. The way you're posed, this could be a meme format. Can I be part of it? What am I supposed to do about this? No. Oh my god, no, no. I can't find the way. The suits are deteriorating, the whole place is. What we're seeing is the not-so-distant future of this. And my vision is quickly fading. How did we even get here? And there's another body over there. We need oxygen. Man, That was the perfect way to represent the panic of being in an enclosed space, knowing you're running out of oxygen, and not being able to find the exit. I experienced a bit of that while diving wrecks in Subnautica, but it's why, from what I understand, like, cave diving is pretty much the most dangerous thing you can do. Dr. Pallavi was the first to reach the evac pod, and got caught in the blast when it ruptured. In a sealed environment, flames burn hotter, propagating an accelerated rate. Chemicals, confined spaces, oxygen-rich air. As a chemist, she understood the risks better than most of us, but that didn't keep her from grousing about how all the restrictions stymied her research. We each had our own challenges, personal and professional, in the Hab, but we're all in the same boat. Only now it's a Viking funeral. That explains the charredness of your body. Proceed to Shuttle Bay, board shuttle, transfer to Compass 2. Oh no, this really is going to be like Soma. And that we're going to have to move from location to location, each one being a pipe dream of safety.
Reaching the surface was off the table, physically or otherwise. So it's simple. Hitch a sub to Compass 2 and hope others did the same.
Our oxygen is really starting to run low. Ah, but there's a charger over there. Excellent. I'm really gonna have to look around because missing one of these could mean death. They do have a light on them, I just have to keep an eye out for it. Oh, that's the good stuff. Is there anything we can see through here? Eh, not really. I love these empty dive suits as just like a visual reminder of how unnatural this all is.
Normally, the Habs are lit up top to bottom, all the time. A lot of the gear was waterproof. Some of the lights and monitors were still running. So it wasn't dark, but it's fading. Like the whole thing's on life support.
Kinda like me. As to what I was saying a second ago, it really is like emphasizing the unnatural state of all this, how we're in an environment we were never meant to be in. From the outside, we look like an automaton stomping around on the ocean floor. None of these glass things are broken, I don't think, and we can't break it. But will we be moving around to there? I just instinctively pressed LB to try and pop off a flare. Nobody here in these living quarters. Is that down the hall or right here? I can't tell. No, it definitely sounds like it's coming from over here. So now we've got to turn around. Yeah, that's what I thought! We never left. Don't look back. Is that encouragement or a warning? God, that is so creepy. It's like something about the familiarity of the room, a bedroom, made us imagine a familiar thing. It seems like that's happening again here. Oh my. Yeah, that's what I figured. Oh, the room is completely collapsed right here. I can't move. I can't move! Even though our voice seems calm and collected still, I don't think we are nearly holding it together as well as we think. When things go wrong, don't go with them. Well, with something as strong as an ocean current, that's kind of easier said than done, don't you think? 50%. All burned on this hall right here. Some right here. Thank you. Origami. You know, with the stillness of some of these deep-sea creatures, like the jellyfish, they almost do seem like origami artwork just drifting about rather than living things. And that there's a weird serenity to their existence. VR stall game, great.
It's relentless. I mean, the isolation is unnatural. Little problems start to spiral. Any baggage you don't check at the surface comes unpacked pretty quick. Some find ways to cope, others struggle.
There is a very weird effect happening here. There's like an edge to the water. I guess it's just created by the bubbles coming out of the pipe. I mean, if I'm understanding this correctly, this thing was built into a cave. So it makes sense that it would be the most devastated by something like an earthquake. Off where we can. Okay, more meanies, and they're moving around in the pipes. That's great. We can even see the warning lights flashing inside our helmet. This helmet, this diegetic UI, is one of my favorite things about this game, because it goes hand in hand with the fact that I'm wearing a VR headset right now. Hearing the stomps of our heavy suit echo throughout the place. Are you dead? I'm gonna take your word that you're dead. Uzar Stella. Uzar must have been right outside Compass 1 when the shockwave hit, cut off and forced to make his way back in using the service tunnels. It's hard to believe that something punctured his suit. The local wildlife tends to be docile, skittish. But all this heat and light and commotion has the whole place stirred up. And to survive these conditions, it helps to be as gracious of a guest as you are warm of host. Which is to say, not at all. He was in much the same situation as us. And yet, these things, like, we've got to remember, this is all so unnatural to us. This is all unnatural to them. Having all this stuff in their environment, these people moving around, these quakes. I mean, they individually probably don't experience this very often. But we've got to get going. I've already wasted 6%. Right here! I don't think my knife killed you. I'm not sure you were ever actually alive.
Watching life go by inside the bubble is cruel. The ones that care get a head start learning to live without you. So the grief comes first, whether or not you're really gone.
There's very little difference between inside and out now, and to be honest, I'm not sure where I'd rather be. Alright, you... We're gonna have to get rid of you if we want to get your stuff. Ah, you're tag teaming us. Go, die, get off. Get off, you. We need you gone. We need to time it right so that we can hit you at the right time when you charge. There's still another one, right? I see a charge station over there. Or did you actually just pull a sneaky and go all the way around? I thought I could still see you when I was being pushed. You were trying to break in, but even if you had, it wouldn't have made much difference. Lyle Tyson. Lyle lived up to his name. Short, sweet, and simple. I don't know if he died from a fall, from the flooding, or something else. All just a means to an end he didn't deserve. Even with so many things that could go wrong 2 miles down, drowning wasn't something we really thought a lot about. I mean, I guess there's so many things you'd hope would kill you first. Alright, we really need to recharge our O2. And I'm still not sure if we can use one of these stations more than once. Oh no, this isn't a station. No, this is just for power. This is just for power. That's really bad, because I was really banking on... Oh, wait. Okay. Alright. You stay where you are. God, why would you even try that? You'd injure yourself more than anything. Alright, thankfully that was a substantial amount. And we do not need more flares. I actually haven't really seen much need for flares. I mean, maybe that won't be the case later on, but it's stocking us up like crazy. And I don't know, my flashlight has kind of been enough. I've almost preferred it for the vibe. Okay, maybe I have to... I think I saw a lift in the other corner. Okay, yeah, we probably have to use that. Okay, just don't look at him. Just don't look at him. I don't know to what extent I can really control this. Also, I'm sorry if during scares it's kind of difficult to not literally leap out of my suit.
I've seen death before, but not like this. Up here, the impact's usually more abstract. This is intimate. It's like when you pass an accident on the freeway. All the possibilities run wild. But then a song you like comes on, or your exit's coming up, and you've moved on. Back to normal.
I also really love this, like, commentary where you can tell that he's really trying hard to Chuck Yeager this thing, you know? Because that's what he's been trained to do, and that's what's necessary. But the reality of this situation is just so surreal, just so awful, that he kind of can't help but lose it, even as remaining sane kind of becomes an insane mantra more than anything. It really is just about living from one refill to the next. Oh, hey, look at that. Nice pixel art in what I imagine would have been a really comfy break room. Look, they've even got a beanbag chair. And a fridge. I wonder what the logistics are of, like, getting all this material down here. How is it done? Would they have to build some sort of elevator and ship all the stuff in? I mean, I suppose with weights, you could just sink it, right? Assuming it's all built to survive the trip. What the heck? No fanfare, just a sight I wouldn't be able to explain. Hazard doors unlocked. Okay! Look away. Just look away. And step around. You're physically blah. How do I even... My flashlight is gone. My flashlight is gone and I can't do much. I've got to wait for you to open. Now I've got, like, no light except for the emergency lights above. I'm actually looking down at the inside of my own mask for comfort. I can't use flares here. No, 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 come on, come on! Do I have to platform all that all over again? Okay, so what I'm discovering is that if you're gonna use the thrusters, you have to do it 100%. You can't try and feather it. Okay, I can't really look down, but if we go to here, then we should make it. There we go. I just barely made it. But yeah, if you feather it, you just lose, like, all your momentum instantly. We gotta make it over this gap. And hopefully not get hit by someone else falling. I hear that glass crumbling underneath me. No, go, 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 go. I can't see a thing. I can't see where this drop-off is gonna be. Right here. And our oxygen is still winding down. Slower than before, but we've got to do it. There's gonna be one heck of a jump. Maybe it's really the one below that we're meant to get to. You know, I really hope so. I really, really hope so. Come on, please. Oh, no oxygen here. We already used it. We've already been through here. Which makes this exceptionally more dangerous. Access level 1.
They're planning on 60, 75 once the whole thing's staffed up. So with just 20 of us, there's already this hollow quality. Like dropping by the office when everyone's gone for the weekend. Not a lot of time for recreation, but the options were there. They did their best to keep us happy.
You've moved to the opposite side of the glass, where we just came from. You know, I love it when a game, especially a game in this sort of setting, isn't afraid to just be eerie. Oh my god. Okay, well, you know what? Yeah, goodbye. Later. Stay in the doorway so it doesn't close and we can watch you pass. We now become prey in the hallways of our own facility. I imagine from your exact hallway width that you're meant to just be a patrolling wall of doom and don't have any actual intelligence to you. At least that's the way you presented so far. You've stopped. I'm sorry, I was literally speechless for a moment. Go on. Go away. Are you dead now? I hope so. Oh, your eye has been plucked out. Sig person. Sachs was as serious about his own health as he was ours, but even between the endless work and the daily workouts, he always seemed tireless, wise and weather-beaten, like some sort of boxing monk. Even behind the ravaged remains of his kindly face, I could still make out some of that tranquility. I chose to imagine that he just sat back, let it all wash over him, rather than spend his final moments fighting against the inevitable. God. Like, there's whatever was going on out there, and then there's the sight of your jaw just endlessly widening and impossibly tall underneath those dead gray eyes. It was like watching demonic possession or something, and the worst part is, I don't know if it was some natural cause or if I imagined the whole thing. Okay, so the lockdown is lifted. We can go back the way we came. Am I supposed to? Because I remember this area, but I'm fuzzy on the specifics. The point is, we actually never reached a moment where we came out of that hallucination. Unlike the others, where we just ended up right back where we were before, that was all completely seamless. So, what do I make of that? This should all now be working correctly. Although, still unable to establish comms with the surface. You. It's like you're trying to guide me or something. Wait, who are you? You're making the clattering sounds of a dive suit, but you seem too... You seem too thin. Hang on. Will you remain? Nope. Oh, we've got to go out over there.
Stand by 5 more minutes. Repeat, we are leaving in 5 minutes. If you're anywhere in range right now is the time.
I'm in range, but I have no way to communicate back. I saw you as like a guiding figure for a moment. But the way you kept going off into the dark like that, if I hadn't tossed that flare, I would have followed you straight to my death. Well, that didn't land where you said. Okay, here's one of those times where... Oh, come on, I bounced off the ceiling! Is there any way I can reload? Nope, just gotta let it happen. Alright, it might actually be better to pop off a flare and maybe try and go for it from here.
In God we trust. Everything else gets triple-checked. But so much diligence makes every aspect of daily life heavy. Each task or item, like getting into a suit or going outside, has an equivalent weight. So, for getting cargo or yourself over to Compass 2, the shuttle's the most efficient option, relatively speaking.
I mean, I hadn't even considered that. When you're doing something like gearing up, checking a suit, you're pretty much trusting that you have made no mistakes because the consequences for any error is you die horribly. But we can grab a couple of those. There we are. And we can't really look down, but we can see enough. I'm glad to see those flares actually last a decent length of time, too, although we're kind of always moving. Another casualty? Are you shut to that thing by some kind of coolant leak? No ID detected. God, what is up with you? Hang on. Alright, we really got to get some oxygen. It's actually been a little while. Sub departed. Hopefully that means at least somebody made it. Well, I am stuck on the geometry. And there is no way to unstuck myself and no way to reload. So do I just have to wait here for... I can't see any way to manually load a save. Yeah, I couldn't see an option to reload a save or unstuck myself, so I just kind of restarted the entire game, I guess. And yep, shuttle on standby. Well, we can call this down. Oh, I can actually select to an extent. Alright, well, let's go to level 2 then.
They kept the heat up, but the weight and presence of the ocean, you can't shake that. Gets under your nails and gums like your teeth are coming loose. And then at some point it recedes. You might not notice that till you're topside, but it's always there.
Certain weights you don't notice until they're off your shoulders. I shouldn't be looking around so much as I want to. Also, I imagine you guys will try to kill me if I get too close, and that some of you appear dead but are really just lying in wait. I mean, we've seen that happen before. One of these days, firing a flare like that is going to reveal something I don't want to see, like it kind of did just now. There we go. Sometimes it's not exceptionally easy to spot behind things. I may have to break up this record session. I've heard that this game is about 3 hours long, but yeah, this turning is actually making me kind of sick. Which is saying something, because I really don't very often get sick of these games. Okay, you're a jerk. You're a dumb old jerk. God, what do you want with me? Again, are you a real species? Because I had always thought that anglerfish, well, you don't seem to be an anglerfish. You're something more bulbous. You? I feel like I have seen you before somewhere. I was looking away when that guy popped up from behind the bar. I would have made some sort of last call sort of joke. I would have. But in a different universe. There's so many of you. Okay. Oh, this whole room is just filled with your blood. We're literally walking through a cloud of this stuff. Get out of my way. No O2, but there is a key card. Eris Sakara. Her name was Eris, but we all called her Malba. She was feisty, with a presence that belayed her short stature. Or maybe because of it. Although she barely came up to my chest, she kept us all on our toes. I found her in the galley. Like every one of us, she had a dozen jobs to do. 7 days a week, and not one passed where you didn't see her sailing in or storming out of that room, trying to keep all 20 of us fed. Whatever she's feeding now is probably close by. Nature is nothing if not relentless. You know, so many games, they sort of try and emphasize the fear by littering the area with corpses, but this is different. It's humanizing them, showing them that each one was a person, each one had a role, and more importantly, we knew them all. Making their fates all the more impactful. Victor Del Arroyo. Victor was soft-spoken, almost shy, but he couldn't hide the pride he took in every action and accomplishment. Although, like most of us, he rarely offered up information about his past. And it's clear he came from money. We're most keenly aware of what we've never had. I can't imagine how his family felt when he set out to pursue a career defined by backbreaking labor and relentless risk. When they learn of his fate, will they take pride in his many accomplishments? Or just pity and shame. Alright, we need more. There we go. Should I have saved that? Perhaps. But it's worth it to preserve the memory of all of our coworkers we can. God, it's so overwhelming pushing all this stuff out of the way, knowing the squickiness that's just on the other side of our visor. How did this stuff even get in here? I don't see a hole. Come on.
So I did. Thought about giving up. With that much time to think about nothing. Just about anyone would. Thing is, the suit's designed to keep you safe, even from yourself. Makes it hard to take the easy way out.
That's a point I had not considered. I mean, this thing is so big and bulky, you really can't operate it yourself. Would jumping down there be death, or would it take me to the lower level? I see a lower level. Alright, B1, that's next. I'm at the point where if I have to turn in place and I can't turn by looking, I have to close my eyes while moving. Because it goes straight to my stomach. Yeah, I don't think fire suppression is really going to be necessary now. Every once in a while, there's just something about the way the light falls on the place that makes me really aware of the situation. What? I should not have done this. Why did I come here? I guess I was hoping you'd have some O2 on you. I mean, I guess they're essentially doing the same thing as mannequin scares, but it's so much worse when they're ostensibly supposed to have people in them. Why does that poster make me feel that that's the thing that's watching me? Oswald the Octopus found strange career options after the show. But alright, we can relax a little bit more now. Bay door status, unlocked for transport to Compass 2. There's a whole lot of large crabos in there. And a one to use that we just let in, so that's great. That's all kinds of awesome. I kind of feel like I have to go back and check the other direction. I got a clear look at you for the first time. You're not one of us. You're like an old-timey dive suit. Maybe you're a literal spirit, or I don't know, maybe you're the figurative spirit of the old pioneers carrying on. Either way, we're only rewarded with more air, which pretty much just reimburses us for the trip. I just realized you're like an arthropod-type creature, aren't you? Oh, you kind of blend in with your environment. Wonder if that's coincidence or an actual adaptation. But, yeah, we gotta figure out how to get this other thing. Oh, you're a card reader. I had approached you before, but I guess not close enough. Being close to within button range wasn't enough. All right. Yeah, okay. I need to recenter my view. And we are not doing well on oxygen.
Still, does it make it better knowing how bad things really are? The suit keeps out what you need to be afraid of. Only the fear's trapped in there with you, and it's thriving. So yeah, maybe you're safe and dry, but inside you're drowning.
This game understands that with VR, it's all about the experience. About doing things that a standard game can't. And granted, this game is a standard game at heart. But they definitely knew that it was ripe for it. Come on. You tried to hide. Lucas Rax. Considering there was just 20 of us in the lab, the intellectual bar was pretty high. And Lukacs was as sharp as any of us, PhD or not, which makes it especially tough piecing together his attempt at outrunning the inevitable. Level-headed Lukacs reduced to pure instinct, clambering up and up, the icy water rising up and up, last moments in an infantile state, body contorted from electric shock, mind unable to grasp the enormity of his newfound circumstance. The thing is, you just never know until you're there how he'll react. This chamber overlooks yours, which means we can kind of drop right down, can't we? If we just activate the thing, which there's got to be a panel over here, yes. Cute. Oh, thank you. We don't have to enter, actually. Alright, I want a flare out here. And that is falling down below. So now we should be able to do this, right? Green and green, that's what I like to see. From where do I do this? Oh, it's right there, okay. Whole lot of clutter, but there's only one passenger, so I guess it's fine. Life support error. Oh no. I only have 64%. Time to arrival 4 minutes. Will I make it? Is there anything stocked on here? Can I check these boxes in these overhead containers?
Signal received. I repeat, signal received. We're headed back to Compass 1. Repeat, we're coming back. We are coming to get you.
No. No!
You were prepared, but what happened next caught you completely off guard. Can we talk about that?
We were our own downfall. If we had just waited, or if they had. If anything had gone differently. We're not in the suit at all. You were right. The weight is actually gone. A weight I hadn't even registered until this moment. Even if I know it can't be real. Should I just walk off into the sunset? Or is there somewhere I'm meant to be actually going? It's only now I'm fully aware of how awful it was to not be able to do things like look down. Okay, hello, tree poppin'. You must be our destination. A little pond with a bike beyond. Freedom. The open air, really. Imagine if we step through this to go get it, and we just find ourselves plunging down, down, down into the abyss. Yeah, exactly like that. Did I call it or what?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
I was hoping you'd talk about the moment when you realized that the ones you collided with were, in fact, the ones you were trying to save.
It was horrible. I mean, the odds of us finding them in the first place were poor. I sure as hell didn't expect to run into them. I don't know. I mean, I never found out who was in the other half of the wreck. Not alive, anyway.
Imagine the guilt. Our one chance at reconnecting. Forget it. There's a light out there. And we've been fortunate enough to find some O2. Even more over there that was not here before. Oh. Magma. A red glow rising from down beneath, like because of what we just did, now we're in hell. Oh. And our visor is cracked. That'd be a bad thing in the best of times, but just imagine the pressure that's acting on it. You guys are down here too as well, huh? I guess you can take the heat. I think you're actually chasing me right now. But I don't hear you behind me anymore. Oh, it's getting so cloudy. I can just barely see the light up there. But I can hear like some loud like mechanical noise back there, almost like an elevator door or something trying to open and close. But I shouldn't be turning around. I gotta keep on track. I gotta keep that thing in the center of my vision, my North Star. Let's try and avoid these things. But then again, maybe it's better just to fight them head on. I mean, I've pretty much got the timing of the knife attacks down. You gotta wait until you're mid-charge. Of course, sometimes by then the game decides that it's too late. Just a reminder that more suited creatures than us have tried to live down here. If we follow you directly, I think that's our best bet. That way we don't run into you. A lesson we could have used a minute ago. Oh, please don't tell me we're going in the cave. I've completely lost my North Star. And we're seeing hallucinogenic anglerfish, so that's cool. no worries. There's a whole lot more down that way. I don't think you were hostile, but you sure whipped at me like you were. But every once in a while, I just have to look in awe at just what... I don't even know how to describe it. Alien doesn't seem to do it justice. But just what kind of world that is, you almost can't believe this is Earth. And for all I know, maybe it isn't. Does it actually expect us to jump down there? North Star, please tell me something different. Get out of here. All right. We're right in your lair. I guess we should be grateful that the tectonic activity killed a bunch of you off, right? I can just hear you all over. I do not like hearing your noises. I don't have time to wait for you. But I don't have a choice, do I? If I can get through to the right, then maybe I can do something. If I can quickly move through, yes. But I've got to move. I hear you back there. God, it always just feels like you're right down the back of my neck. Can I do anything with this? I think I'm gonna have to take a break soon. Having to spin around like that, it really did a number on my stomach. All right, let's go, come on. No, come on! I have no air! All right, we're on a shelf. We can sort of use that to unstuck ourselves a little bit. There is no room for error whatsoever. Come on. Oh my god, it's not working. Yeah, why does it keep pushing me down? I don't understand this. I have 25% O2. 25%. I looked at a guide, and it just says, yeah, just do it. And it's not just not sticking the landing, I'm landing. It's physically forcing me out. Wait, have I seen this area before? This might be something completely different. So is that just like an entire red herring path? Is what you're trying to tell me? Is that really the case? Oh god, it's one of you. If we can go along the tops of these things, that would be a huge advantage. Oh, you're squirting ink, making it harder to see. Away we go. Should be able to make it. There we are. Make a note of where this ends up. Come on. Yeah, this whole deal is not at all what I was doing before. Which kind of makes me think that whole area was just a trap. No, 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 no. I'm getting pushed again. I'm getting pushed and sliding again. So what? What? Yeah, what is this? What is what? Whoa, whoa. Actually, where are we? Is this a different place altogether again? Oh, there's a big one. Wait, I think I remember reading something about distracting these with flares. Well, if it would let me. You did react. Unfortunately, I can't do much with that information unless I can come up behind you and maybe... Oh, this is so dumb. No, I can't physically move it. I'm dead. That seems to be... Nope, there's the cave. Or there's a cave. Doesn't look like something we would ever want to enter. But perhaps we could... This is really... It feels really arbitrary how short of a distance these flares are now that I actually know something I can do with them. Alright, but we at least have a somewhat reliable way to get here now. Alright, what happens if we just land on here, right? And we make it to this other... Nope, it's still doing the thing. It's still just auto-forcing me down. Oh my god, finally! Okay, I had to land on that ledge over there and then jet my way out, and that is the only way for this to work. And does it even get me anywhere I couldn't have gone before? I don't think it does. I can still see the light over there. No. Yeah, no. This just got me up and out to the same place I was before. If this actually were... Oh, now you're moving. Was there some kind of, like, trigger I was supposed to... Okay. I kind of figured that you were an advancing wall and that your hitbox encompassed the entire tunnel, given that you encompassed the entire tunnel. But I guess I was supposed to do the dumbest move possible and try to maneuver around you. And you're just gonna move up and out. Fine. That's not a way we want to go. I guess we're just following you then. I mean, I feel like if I jumped on your head, there wouldn't be a ton you could do about it. Yep. Let's get as far past you as we can and keep moving. God, this part has been truly awful. There. There. Are you our North Star? You're to the east, so yes! Oh, please. Well, you're nothing great for us.
We were talking about protocol. By your own admission, there are instances where you didn't follow procedure. There's your radio and Cora. Granted, this was unprecedented. But as you said, second-guessing puts lives at risk. Do you think the outcome might have been better if you just followed the rules?
Well, it might, but there's no way to know that.
It kind of seems like the outcome would have been better if literally anything had gone differently. There we go. And it is at this point that I really think I need to take a break because, oh my god, the nausea from trying to control a VR character with a gamepad, with an Xbox controller. I feel like I'm going to throw up even trying to talk right now, so let's just pause it and I'll come back in a bit. I like how it's almost like we're wiping the sweat off our face and realizing we can't. Alright, I think I'm ready to come back now. Oddly enough, it sort of helps to ground me to look down at the inside of my visor. Did you just hear that whistle? Sorry, it's just, I don't know why. I'm like weirdly, irrationally proud of the fact that I haven't thrown up in like 11 years. And I really would have hated it if this was the thing that changed that. Are you being preyed upon by that fish? Nature sure is strange. Yep. Don't mind me. Just, yeah, you better run.
So you're lost and looking for some way out of all of this. And really your only option now is the other habitat, Compass 2. And what's most unsettling to me is you're in this dive suit. You call it a walking coffin. I can't even imagine what that takes.
It takes everything. But when you're losing your strength and your senses, well, like I said, it helps you focus on what little's left.
You again. I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about introducing this interviewer so late in the game, because that sort of makes it a foregone conclusion that we will make it out of this and be questioned about it, right? Unless, and this is something that's now occurring to me, only because I've done this before, particularly when, like, doing urbex, or, you know, obviously much less high stress than this, but when I've been in bad situations, sometimes I've imagined talking about it afterwards. Maybe that's just one more way you're trying to stay focused. You want us to follow you into the murky depths. Leopold Fail. Hang on, I can't read the rest. 1919 to 2005. Okay, we need to move. Down there, there's like a wall of blackness in that direction. This way. Gotta go this way. Oh, my vision is fading. My vision is fading again. That's the second time we've seen an image of the bike. Also, we normally don't have access to the flares in these moments, but now we do. I see, we've got to make the right choice, do we? This way, then? I mean, what do you feel in a moment like this? What does your life flashing before your eyes look like when you're down in a cave at the bottom of the ocean? Is this it? I've just got to take it systematically. But it's so hard. How many of these things have I gone down now? I can't even remember which ones. 2 on the left, at least 1 on the right. I'm starting over on the right because I don't remember. Sound around us seems to be getting deafening, and more so by the second. 2 on the right. 2 on the right, 2 on the left. It's like my vision is even more obstructed here than elsewhere. Through the middle. Which doesn't make any sense, but... thing is, none of this means much to me. Is this the only way forward? Maybe we have to go back? Can we go back?
Even setting that aside, so much about your ordeal is almost beyond most people's comprehension. Were you ready for this? Or were you lucky?
No luck.
You mentioned possibilities. Does a part of you wonder where you'd be if you'd never gone down there in the first place?
Not really. I mean, that kind of thinking won't get you anywhere.
A flare? Does that mean one of the other researchers was here as well? There's a diverging path. We're getting completely lost in here. For a second, it sounded like there were too many footsteps. Lights! Lights and flares, equipment. We have to be close. Oh, screw you, buddy.
I'm not proud of some of the things I did.
Oh my god, are you alive?
But I'm not leaving anything out. I can't.
Cora Vanderoe. God knows how Dr. Vanderoe managed to get herself into an ADS, let alone make it that far on foot. Even for those of us who get... Oh! That doesn't pause the game? That doesn't pause the game. Cool. Come on. Come on. Die. Please actually be dead soon. Yes, thanks. Oh wait, I can retrieve O2 again. Alright, anyway. Even for those of us who get poured in daily, it's not exactly a one-man job. I found her about a mile from the crash site. A tiny lighthouse in the storm. Beacon to nowhere. But to come this far and not see it through? Something inside must have broken down. I can't see why else she'd be sitting out here, all alone. Another ghost in the machine. Well, let that motivate you. Every step further we take is another step farther than our predecessor made it. Who knows where we're going now? Is that the same flare back there? I think it is. Maybe we should be leaving our own? How many have we got left? All 10. This is a cave entrance. This has got to be the right way then. Howdy. You're not exactly spiders, but you're the next best thing. To the left, to the left, to the left. These things have evolved to live down here, which makes them quite tough by nature, I'd imagine. Our suit's not going to be able to carry us out of this, right? It might just be able to. It could and it did, but it just gets us right back around to square one. If you can get yourself to stop moving for even a moment, there is actually a lot you can do with the suit's thrust. It's actually a pretty well implemented mechanic. Jet out of the way. Everything down here is slow. Everything is trying to conserve energy. Look at you and your natural camouflage on your head. They don't seem to be actually seeking me out, just moving on a fixed path.
The last day of 3rd grade, we drive down to the dock. She points at her watch, tells me, close your eyes. She puts her hand on my chest, says, 10 seconds. And then I'm falling.
So you and the deep go way back, huh?
I'm gonna drown. I mean, I'm sure of it. She's shouting, not to interfere. 10 seconds later, her hand's on mine, pulling me up. The next day we go again. Only now it's 15. I'm up all night watching the clock, trying to count 20 on the dot. I knew so long as I, hold out. 40 seconds, 45, she'd come. And one day she didn't. My first thoughts, maybe I messed up the count. My second thoughts, I'm on my own. I open my eyes and the sun's behind her. But I know that shape, it's familiar. Arms crossed, staring down at me.
Was entering this profession, was this like a way of facing your fear? A lifelong one that was maybe not always handled appropriately. Ah yes, the company dump site, because the place doesn't have to be fully open for us to be destroying this ecosystem. Yeah, maybe there's a good reason the wildlife are so upsetty spaghetti. %.
Anyway, by the time I climb onto the dock, she's already home.
try and try again. But, you know, for as horrible as it may be, the lesson carries over. Once you realize you're on your own, it's partly a feeling of despair, but also maybe a liberating feeling. Knowing that your fate is in your hands.
Methane is a greenhouse gas, one of the most potent. Other industrial disasters may have been more severe, but Oceanova was groundbreaking, like you said. It could be years before we know all the consequences. We might never understand the ecological impact. It was very expensive, and 19 people died. Like it or not, you're the human face of all this. So what do you say to your critics?
I believe in what we were doing.
But was it worth the cost?
You know, it's a valid question, and I feel like the go-to answer is no, but... Okay, so I guess I came to the wrong neighborhood. Oh no, you're eating one of those guys. Perhaps an alliance is still in the cards? We can get in via the elevator. But first, we've got an ID to retrieve. And I'm still seeing things. You're the same corpse as before. You're really here. The O2 is retrievable, but we've seen you multiple times, and both times no ID. You're a different story, though, if we can get up there. What are these? Some kind of pumps? Oh! I get it now. Are you the one who was with us right there in the beginning? Okay, low power. So we do actually have to get out there in order for this to work. You're a cool-looking fish. Oh, you're a big guy. And you don't look like you're gonna eat me, so that kind of makes me more inclined to like you. You, on the other hand, yep, dive. Oh, wait, you have, wait. Elevated O2, come on. We got inky inkness all over our visor. This does not seem a healthy place to be. Back here there is air. I'm not going to use it right now for fear of wasting some. Well, that'll tell us what the power is. I have a feeling this isn't going to work. I think maybe I have to... Yep, overload. Okay, so it's an addition game, is it? Oh, 8:15. Okay, I see. I hadn't noticed you before. Alright, so we will want to... How's the best way to do this? Put you down. And then you... Yep, nope.
engineer.
There we go.
You're a problem solver. You value logic and precision. You talk a lot about times, distances, values, and yet there were some challenges you couldn't solve.
Numbers are easy. It's people that are complex. Numbers bring things into focus. No gray areas to distract you from getting things into perspective.
You're really hammering in only now the question of just whether all of this was worth it. Whether what we were doing here, as enormous as it may be, justified losing the lives of the humans who wanted nothing more than to do this. Okay. Right here. We could climb straight in, but we're also probably going to want to jump over to the other side, right? I mean, if we can figure out a way. Yep. Oh no, there's an invisible wall right here. Yep. Okay, cool. Oh, hey, no. Yeah, the timing here is really janky, where you have to do it so that, like, it seems like the animation isn't going to play in time by the time you're doing it, but that is how it's supposed to work, and then you'll just die without me touching you, which is kind of annoying. If there's an invisible wall there, like, I can see maybe there's a path to, like, run along the tops of those things, but my stomach can't take doing all that. So let's go. I guess we just come out right here. Wait, no, we can't get out that way. Let's see what we can see off in this direction. Oh god, we are really low. Thankfully there's some other stuff over here. Thank you. We could climb up here. There we go. Thomas Zane is really just acting as a mentor to any horror protagonist now, isn't he? There we go. Oh, come on. But how do I know which one is right? I guess I can come back if need be. This can light our way, I suppose. Also took another break because, man, if you thought walking around like this was bad, just wait until you try platforming. Okay, I don't think this is right. I think our path needs to be set before us. Oh yeah, that's really not doing good things for our suit. What do we think? Can we make it across to there and then back, maybe? Again, really not easy when you can't look down. Alright, I think we've done it. Yep. Now, can we get what we need from you? No, seriously, how are we getting what we need from you? There we go. Thank you so much. Jean Castillo. The first time or the 50th, trudging through the extractor farm always put a little ice in your blood. Someone, can't remember who, someone said it's like a forest of metal trees, roots soaking up the salt of the earth. JJ walked these fields pretty much daily. Now he's watching over them like a second-rate scarecrow, attracting more scavengers than he repels. God, that's dark. I can still hear him now, cracking jokes and talking crap, like father, like son. Okay, we're not getting in that way, but with power restored, we should be able to use the thing. The rising of that music, alongside the rising of the red bar on my right side in my peripheral vision, is not doing good things for me.
Does it get easier answering all the same questions?
People ask all kinds of questions. What they ask says a lot about their character, especially when it comes to casualties.
So what's the response when they do ask about the gory details?
I oblige. See which way they want to take it. I mean, what people don't get is that they don't want me to keep going. Not really. There's only so much blood and guts people can take before they lose their appetite. Everyone has their limits.
We made it and things aren't any better here, it seems. Oh, we have turned this place into the polar bear cave at SeaWorld with all this coolant. Oh, my God. What if, and just hear me out, what if it turned out we never left the dive suit room at 1? What do we do? Now what? There's nothing I can really do about this. Just keep turning. Hey. No. So wait, so are you saying I actually got, like, caught right there? Oh, okay, yeah, alright. I was supposed to do that. That just kind of felt like a hallucination sequence. This is the first one that could kill me. There we go. I guess this is where things would have taken us. We've just got to hold out hope that there's something here. And away we go.
Very candid when describing some circumstances. Times when you felt crippled with fear, coming across the bodies of friends and colleagues.
Yeah.
It's clear you care, but there's an undercurrent of detachment in the way you present some of the more difficult moments. Was that your intention?
No, I've heard that before. I just did my best to paint a clear picture. When it comes to empathy, there's no manual for that.
So part of it is your job, the other part is just your personality. Anders Dahl Ryder. As much as someone could be down here. I mean, we're all in it together. Anders was in charge. Always on the move, checking up on people and progress and writing it all down. I found him in the hallway overlooking the meadow. Did he drown? Maybe methane exposure? I don't... They say the devil's in the details, but who can say? Either way, everything around here just feels off. Well, we could jet across this gap. Is there anything behind us? No. I really like this jet mechanic. I've said it before, but like having all this weight feels really appropriate to the setting. And yet it doesn't feel like we're too immobile. If anything, the biggest hindrance in that regard is not being able to look down. But there's enough space in the glass that we can look up. That camera shows a dive suit standing among the methane tanks. I don't even know if the posters are real anymore. Some of them seem so on the nose they can't have actually been here, right? No, guys, Still Wakes the Deep is that way. You're about 3 weeks late.
I have to ask again. Was it luck?
Conditioning. Conditioning and discipline. That's how I got down there in the first place. And that's how I got out. It's about keeping tethered to the task. You don't let yourself forget about the reality around you. You can't.
My first thought is that I should turn around like before, but that speech sort of implies that I'm supposed to keep going. What happens if I do try to turn around? Weird things, very weird things. Moonwalk? What is going on with our display here? This sort of seems to imply... No, we can still see our percentage. Did that say reverse course? Dead end. This is what we call an interface screw, according to TV tropes. Wait. Wait, something's... No, that's not true. No, that's not true. Hang on, no. That's not true. Come on. Come on. Go, go, go. 1%. Come on. Well, that's it. We're cooked. We can't actually seem to get out there. It won't let me leave. We're back, but our interface is still... This was just a closet. We're not back. Oh god, come on. Access denied. Enter passcode. Five-digit PIN code. Where do we get something like that? Oh. Oh, this is not helping. Excuse me while I close my eyes a little bit. Even the plush seems to be bleeding. Oh my god. So this is what it's like to play Little Nightmares in first person. Our interfaces cease to be helpful. I've just gone around in a circle. Tell me, Corpse, have you got a passcode dangling somewhere? 5. I can't input manually, so does that mean I have to actually approach? 5. You put that in front of us. I've got to look around some more, find more. Are you something? I just saw a shadow I really didn't like. Wait, there's a 6 right there. Could that be 6? We just gotta look around for any numbers anywhere. But it seems like they'll be fairly large on the screen at least. Let's take our... No, let's not take our refill yet. It's 100%, and I haven't seen yet if these things reset. Gotta look for anything and anything that stands out. That's a 0, I think. It doesn't seem to be granting me that, though. I mean, that looks too good to not be a thing, but it's not granting it to me. Okay, yeah, no, we can put in what we have when we have it. Down there, it just keeps saying keyword. Restore O2, because this is taking actually a really, really long time. Can I interact with you things? Oh, I actually can. Alright, so maybe we gotta start trying them? 3. Oh, you just gave me a 3. Okay, you gave me a 3. This has to be a thing, right? Oh, no, I wasn't standing in the exact right spot where I was allowed to get it. Thank you. 36 something 05. Brute force it at that point. I guess you can't risk a lockout. Let's find out. Can we use you more than once? Oh, we actually can. All right. And there's a 1 in there. All right, I knew it would have something to do with that locker. Okay. Down here. No reason not to fill up again. But we are out. I looked at this and I wasn't sure what was wrong with this image at first, and then I realized the small objects were just sitting on the table. Hazard level red, reset hazard level. And amazingly enough, nothing there when we turned around. How crazy is that, right?
You saw terrible things. And even if you made it to the surface, you couldn't count on being rescued. I mean, I'd have lost my mind. Did you ever feel like you were losing it, just a little?
No. When they found me, I'd been floating on the surface for at least 5 hours. I talked with therapists and trauma experts for months. Said I was hiding the hurt. But it's not true. I made mistakes down there, yes, but did I lose my mind? No. No way.
It was all things from this office that comprised our hallucination. But we saw it before we were ever here. Yeah, no, I definitely think it's been a slow transition, but most of what we see can't be taken at face value anymore. Halima O'Keen. Halima was determined to make her family proud. The first female rig manager I've encountered. Maybe the best. And now here she is. Knife in one hand, pills in the other. Heartbreaking, but there's an undeniable dignity in accepting the inevitable. Refusing to bargain. the youngest among us, and she didn't try to run, like a captain going down with the ship. Still, I can't imagine any parent taking pride in this kind of resolve. Not when it ends like this. You said something similar before about the guy who tried to crawl up into the vent. You almost showed disdain for the irrationality of it. Okay, what are we doing here? That looks like another elevator. For a moment, I thought the twisted ends of those lights were some tentacled creature floating in the hallway. Terrible things. Yeah, even the posters themselves are starting to degrade. We're heading straight into another of these segments, and I don't even... There's nothing we can do, we just have to. Get away from him, you. Get out of here. Didn't we already have your ID? No, seriously, didn't we already have your ID? Like, what's... Yeah, it's not letting us bring it up quickly. Go. No! Oh. No, 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 no! We haven't had to deal with anything like this before. Go. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's like we can feel your icy hands on the back of your head. Go, 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 go. And whipping around like this is not good at all for the old stomach. Nope, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. This is it. Nothing we can do.
This entire experience is defined by the fact that you came back alone. Your story started with 20 people, but ends with 1. So when it comes to telling those stories, you're the only one who can.
Yeah. There's a responsibility to get things right, for the record.
You're an unreliable narrator, even as we're literally looking through your eyes. You're leaving out the majority of your experience. But these leaks, they're getting so much worse. We need to get going. Need to take the lift upstairs. Oh, hey! You know, why don't these things freeze you? If we hide behind here, can you see us? You seem to be having a difficult time with it. But of course, because we took it up earlier... You see this old-timey diving figure as like a guardian angel. And yet the suits you'd be more familiar with, that you described as a walking coffin, as a symbol of fear, of vulnerability, even if they're much more suited to this environment. Unlimited thrust enabled. You're literally bestowing the equivalent of superpowers on us in this moment. Alright, let's go. Oh, and I take it the aim here is probably going to be to avoid those spotlights, right? Maybe easier said than done. You're moving kind of erratically. But it's funny, up until this moment, we've been doing everything in our power to move towards the lights in the dark. Well, actually, I guess that sort of makes sense. We see our former co-workers as our biggest source of fear, and fear is what kills us. We step over their corpses and our O2 use accelerates. We don't want to look at them. We don't want to have empathy. We just want to ignore them so that we can focus on us. The entire name of the game is we're in this horrifying situation beyond our comprehension, and we're doing everything in our power to not think about it.
You're stressed. Breathing hard.
Well, easy come, easy go on those superpowers.
Let's try and reverse.
No. No. We're right back where we started. I can't see. I can't see. Rest in peace, Russ.
Hey. You alright? Come on, let's get back to the head.
Welcome back to Open Air. I'm Emily Kaler. If you're just joining us, my guest is Kip Mattis, sole survivor of the Ocean Nova disaster. His first book, Hell or High Water, is a harrowing account of his ordeal. Earlier, we talked about the life aquatic, escaping the flooded habitat, and being lost on the seafloor inside a half-ton titanium diving suit. Kip, I know this might not be easy, but I'd like to talk about the end. Can you read that for us?
Yeah. The list is getting shorter. The hatch opens with its usual reluctance, flooding the room with light. The pod is there. I'm going home. Tomorrow I'll be the sole survivor. But for now, I'm not alone.
Yes, you're recounting this as a dream. Folding up our tool as we unfolded it in the beginning. You already know it's over.
How did you feel when you figured it out?
At that point, and that close, I was running on fear. So when I saw another suit in the room, it's almost too much to process. I couldn't believe that it was...
Virgil, is that you?
Virgil made it. Just like me.
How did you get? I thought everyone was...
Only I'm locked inside the pod and he's locked out.
Can you hear me?
What?
I can't stop the launch. There's no override.
He's not coming back.
Oh, God. I'm sorry.
And that's on me.
30 seconds to evacuation.
So are you saying that if you did something differently, that Virgil would have lived?
That's right. Until I saw him. Fear in his eyes. I thought I was the only one. It was a bad call.
Evacuation in 5,
This can't be happening.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, God. I'm sorry.
Evacuation commencing.
No.
This is our tomb, our coffin outside of our coffin. Oh wait, we can actually open the door. But instead of up, we can only go down. Better not to fight the inevitable, right?
You didn't kill him.
Really? Who did? Bad luck? I'm responsible. Look, I'm up here talking with you, and he's still out there.
Just like so many before us. Is that the idea? It was never us. It seemed like a foregone conclusion, but it was never our perspective. The algae overtakes our visor, and we become one with the deep, walking endlessly. So that was Narcosis, and that was amazing. As far as VR games go, like, having everything be so personal and so much a part of what the experience is made this game what it was. The story was so absolutely crushing, like I said, so surreal, and yet so grounded. It didn't need to rely on the supernatural, or even by overplaying the danger of the creatures that reside down here. It's just a matter of survival in an environment that is so inhospitable to human life. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time speaking right now because it is a little rough physically to play. The fact of having to do this with a controller and not really being able to like look up or down, I mean physically we can, but not being able to angle it, it definitely took a toll. I had to take a couple of breaks. So it definitely increased my agitation levels and made this feel maybe a little more like a fight for survival.
Kip, it's been more than a year since all this happened. You wrote a book and told your story. Are you ready to be done?
Yeah. It's time to move on. Get myself working again.
Kip Mattis, thank you so much for spending time with me today.
Thanks for having me, Emily.
You intend to go back to work even after everything. But I suppose all throughout, like even from the very beginning, there was imagery present of survivor's guilt. And that only became more prevalent as we went. There were a lot that we did not get. Wait, why are you guys specifically Open Air? From KQDB in Minneapolis, Open Air is the award-winning interview show delivering revealing one-on-one conversations with luminaries from the fields of art and literature, business and politics, science and technology, sports and entertainment. Hosted by Emily Collar, the weekday program is one of the longest-running and most popular shows on public national radio. Your card was the final one. Oh, and we can play them all from here. Having the interface be so right there and in your face, having the camera move around within the helmet itself is a stroke of genius for this platform. Not only does it make it feel so much more personal, but it makes you feel so much more trapped, even with the wider field of view offered by the Index over other headsets that would have been available at the time. The environments also complement that, being, it's very open in some areas, and you feel that, but for the most part, when you're within the facilities, it's very small and cramped, and in that way, intimate. There's so much detail and clutter all floating in your vision in 3 dimensions. You always feel like you're pushing through. Like you're pushing through molasses, or I guess more accurately, like in a bad dream where something's chasing you and you can't run. Your suit feels so appropriately weighty, and it gives you the tools to do the things that you need to do. It has enemies, it has a couple of chases, but they don't overshadow the fact that it wants you to spend a lot of time in your own head, accomplishing tasks that you know are very unlikely to actually get you anywhere, and really, it's about knowing you're in a hopeless situation and doing the only thing you can do, trying to ignore the futility. We do have a couple of unread ones here. Kipling Mattis. Kipling Mattis was born in 1980 in Lompoc, California. He graduated from California Polytechnic State University in 2002 with Bachelor of Applied Science degrees in Computer and Mechanical Engineering. Before joining the Oceanova Initiative, he worked on numerous energy research and engineering projects. Mr. Mattis currently lives in Berck-sur-Mer on the coast of France. Hell or High Water, Surviving Oceanova is his first book. So the others are all written almost as like little eulogies, but because of you, because you're the survivor, because you're the only one, it's written as a biography. And you, the name we saw on the gravestone. Grandfather's diving career ended before I was born, but even though I knew those stories by heart, before learning to read or write, I have just 2 memories of him in water. In the first, I'm old enough to walk, but just learning to ride. We stopped to picnic in a scarlet field. A small pond catches my eye, and then I'm falling. I'm going to drown, I'm sure of it. 2 seconds later, his hand's on mine, pulling me up. The next day, I start learning to swim. These are fears that you would have come up with for your entire life, and now it's like a nightmare becoming real. That explains why you were freaking out like this. A diver's knife. I'm 11 again. In my dreams, grandfather shakes me from my sleep. Silently, I help him don the tools of his trade. So frail, a husk. The copper helmet alone should be too heavy to bear. But somehow, between my bedroom and the beach, the ragged suit restores the ragged man. At the water's edge, he puts a finger to his lips, then points to the knife at his waist, an antique that's lost its luster, its edge. With a strength and purpose I've never seen, but always known, he cuts the ties that bind us, then strides into the sea. It was an heirloom. I also just noticed these names, JJ and JB. Like father, like son, it said in his bio, so they were both on this team. Actually, it's only now that I'm realizing the purpose of this. The ones we found are grayed out, but you are, well, I guess the survivor. You're blue, as if we haven't found you. In other words, you're alive until found dead. Alright, press and continue just brings us back here, so if I were to give any summarizing final thoughts on this, I would say that it's everything a deep-sea horror game needs to be. It's many times eerie rather than terrifying, which definitely suits the isolated nature of being down here. It's hopeless and at times wondrous. And because it keeps itself so relatively grounded, at least in terms of the actual situation, it's a perfect example of calm horror. The kind where it's so hopeless that nothing is generally immediately trying to kill you, which gives you time to think about how screwed you are regardless. And as far as scares go, for as numerous as they got as we went on, I just can't help but appreciate how so many times it just doesn't call attention to things. So many things that you just happen to glance at as you go that, if you give any thought to, just shouldn't be. Being in the dive suit, seeing your breath on the glass, it makes you always feel that level of separation from what's all around you. And yet you always feel like it's just a hair away from overcoming you entirely. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, the link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.